subscribe to my channel.
What if the secrets of the universe were never truly lost, only hidden in plain sight? For thousands of years, whispers of a forgotten wisdom have echoed through the halls of mystery schools, behind temple walls, and in the margins of ancient manuscripts. A wisdom said to predate all religions, all philosophies, all science as we know it, a doctrine so potent that it has shaped alchemical traditions, inspired Renaissance thinkers, and continues to stir the minds of spiritual seekers today. This is the knowledge of Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, the mythical fusion of the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek god Hermes, scribe of the gods, messenger of the divine, keeper of secrets. The Hermetic teachings are not mere philosophy. They are a living code, a blueprint for understanding the unseen forces that govern both the cosmos and the human soul. They claim that as above, so below, that the stars in the sky reflect the thoughts in our minds, and the divine spark within us mirrors the order of the universe. But what are these teachings really? And why have they remained cloaked in mystery, only resurfacing in times of great transformation or upheaval? Were they preserved to protect humanity or to control it? In this journey, we're going to open the vault of the ages. We'll explore the origins of Hermeticism, how it emerged from the sacred temples of ancient Egypt, evolved through Greco-Roman thought, and shaped the spiritual underground of Europe. We'll uncover the core principles said to govern all planes of existence: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. You'll discover why these principles have survived despite centuries of suppression, and how, when understood, they can unlock a higher perception of reality, one that re-enchants the world and reclaims the forgotten power within you. This is not just a history lesson. This is a map for those ready to awaken. So ask yourself, what is truth? And are you prepared to receive it? To truly grasp the Hermetic teachings, we must journey back, far beyond the surface of history, into the twilight where myth and memory converge. Hermes Trismegistus is not a figure born of ordinary time. He is a composite being, an archetype. The Greeks saw in him their own Hermes, the god of wisdom, alchemy, and language. The Egyptians knew him as Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe of the gods, guardian of sacred knowledge, and master of the divine word, Ma'at. Together they became Hermes the Thrice Great, a title denoting supreme mastery in the threefold domains: alchemy, astrology, and theurgy, the science of divine communion. The earliest writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus are known as the Corpus Hermeticum, a collection of mystical texts that appeared around the 2nd and 3rd centuries CE, during a time of immense cultural fusion in Hellenistic Egypt. Yet scholars and mystics alike believe the teachings echo far older Egyptian doctrines, perhaps remnants of a pre-Diluvian wisdom preserved through priestly initiates. These texts were not composed for the masses. They were written in an era when secret knowledge was a sacred trust, passed only to the worthy, those who sought truth not merely with intellect, but with the purity of the soul. The philosophical core of Hermeticism rests on one radical assertion: that mind is the fundamental substance of reality. Not matter, not energy, but consciousness itself. The Hermeticist does not view the universe as a cold machine, but as a living, breathing intelligence, a divine being in whose image we are made, as above, so below, as within, so without. This is not metaphor, it is law. Yet the Hermetic tradition has walked a shadowed path through history. It was revered by early Christian Gnostics and feared by Orthodox priests. It was buried, during the rise of the Roman Church, only to be unearthed during the Renaissance, when scholars like Marsilio Ficino and Giordano Bruno saw in Hermes a beacon of cosmic truth, long hidden from the world. But why the secrecy? Why the persecution? Because the Hermetic worldview offers liberation from the dogma of priesthoods and the chains of blind materialism. It tells you that divinity is not distant, not locked in scripture or temple, but pulsing within you. To know this is to become powerful. And power, especially spiritual power, has always threatened those who seek to control. Even today, Hermeticism exists in the margins, hidden in symbolism, whispered in occult circles, distorted by Hollywood tropes. Yet those who truly seek it can still find the golden thread. Hermetic philosophy bridges the ancient and the eternal. It does not ask for belief, it demands experience. It is not a religion, it is a path of awakening. And like all initiatory paths, it begins not with answers, but with a question. Who are you really? Imagine the universe not as an expanse of cold, indifferent matter, but as a grand thought, dreamed into being by an infinite mind. This is the first and most essential Hermetic principle, mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. According to this teaching, everything you see, touch, hear, even time and space themselves, are emanations of a supreme consciousness known only as the All. The All is not a god in the traditional sense. It has no name, no form, no will to worship. It simply is, absolute, infinite, unknowable, and yet somehow intimately present in all things. Your thoughts then are not confined to your skull. They ripple out into the fabric of reality. Thought is not merely a function of the brain, it is the building block of existence. This means that mastering your mind is not self-help advice, it is spiritual alchemy. Change your thoughts, and you begin to change your reality. The second principle, correspondence, extends this cosmic framework. As above, so below. As below, so above. It reveals that all levels of reality, physical, mental, spiritual, are woven together by mirrored laws. The movements of the stars reflect the currents of our psyche. The patterns in nature echo the structures of higher dimensions. You are not separate from the universe, you are its miniature, its microcosm. To study the stars is to study yourself. To look inward is to explore the divine. This principle is the foundation of astrology, sacred geometry, and esoteric medicine. It's why ancient temples were built to mirror constellations, why initiates sought not just to observe the heavens, but to embody them. Then comes the third principle, vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. From atoms to galaxies, all things are in constant motion. Nothing is truly still, not even in death. In the Hermetic view, vibration is the invisible pulse of life, and everything exists on a frequency. This includes your emotions, your beliefs, your intentions. When you think a thought, you emit a vibration. When you feel love or fear, you tune yourself to a certain frequency, and in doing so, attract corresponding energies. This is not just poetic metaphor. It is the occult root of what modern minds might call the law of attraction. The Hermeticist learns to refine their frequency, to elevate their emotional and mental states in order to align with higher realities. Chanting, music, sacred geometry, prayer, mantras, these are not rituals of superstition, but vibrational technologies designed to shift the inner world and, in turn, the outer. Consider this. In a universe built of thought and vibration, your words, your intent, carry immense power. You are not merely living in the world, you are co-creating it moment by moment. And yet, this knowledge is dangerous if misunderstood. The teachings do not promise wish fulfillment or escapism. They warn that ignorance of these laws does not free you from them. Just as gravity acts whether or not you believe in it, so too do the Hermetic laws. Use them unconsciously, and you remain a pawn. Use them consciously, and you step onto the path of the Magus, the awakened soul who shapes their reality from the inside out. But even this is just the beginning. The deeper teachings unfold paradoxes, that opposites are one and the same, that rhythm governs all things, that causality is not a trap, but a ladder to ascend, and the principle that may challenge you most is yet to come. The fourth Hermetic principle is polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Light and dark, hot and cold, spirit and matter, good and evil. To the untrained mind, these seem like fixed opposites, irreconcilable, forces in conflict. But the Hermetic initiate is taught to see beyond the illusion. What is hot and what is cold are simply different degrees of the same thing. Temperature, love and hate, two expressions of emotional energy on a single continuum. This means that opposition is an illusion of perspective. The true alchemist doesn't fight darkness, they transmute it. They recognize that every emotion, every experience contains its opposite in potential. Where there is hate, love can be cultivated. Where there is chaos, order can be summoned. The key lies in understanding the scale and learning to shift your position upon it. Which brings us to the fifth principle, rhythm. Everything flows, out and in, everything has its tides. Just as the ocean moves in waves, so too do our lives, highs and lows, action and rest, expansion and contraction. Nothing escapes this rhythm, not your relationships, not your creativity, not even your spiritual path. The Hermeticist learns to ride these rhythms, not resist them. When fortune wanes, they do not panic, they prepare. When inspiration fades, they turn inward. Rhythm teaches timing. It cultivates patience, foresight, and humility before the greater cycles of the cosmos. But there is also a hidden mastery within this law, what the ancients called neutralization. The adept can rise, above the pendulum swing through focused will and inner alignment, becoming still while the world oscillates around them. This is the secret of serenity. The sixth principle, cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance. Even so-called randomness is merely a name for laws not yet understood. In this view, you are not a victim of fate. You are an agent of it. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every choice you make, ripples out into the great web of causality. This principle is empowering, but also sobering. You cannot escape the consequences of your consciousness. But this also means that you can consciously initiate change. The Hermetic student becomes a master of cause, seeding thoughts and actions that will bear fruit in their time. They do not react, they create. And finally, we come to the seventh principle, gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This is not about physical sex. It is about the energetic forces that shape all existence. The masculine is active, projective, logical, directive. The feminine is receptive, intuitive, creative, nurturing. Both are divine. Both are necessary. Creation cannot occur without their interplay. Within you, these forces live side by side. Your thoughts, masculine, give shape to your emotions, feminine, and vice versa. True power comes not from dominance, but balance. Too much masculine energy, and you become rigid, aggressive, disconnected from intuition. Too much feminine, and you may drift, ungrounded, without direction. But when harmonized, the two become the sacred androgyne, a symbol of spiritual wholeness. This final principle is perhaps the most misunderstood and the most profound. It speaks to the unity beneath all duality, the fusion of opposites that births transcendence, the sacred marriage within the self. Together, these 7 principles form the architecture of Hermeticism. Not commandments to obey, but laws to understand, internalize, and wield with wisdom. They are keys to unlocking perception, to transforming inner chaos into cosmic order, to remembering your true nature as both the microcosm and the divine spark of the all. But the teachings don't end at theory. They demand practice, application. For what use is ancient truth if it cannot touch your daily life? Now, let us descend from the stars and bring this wisdom down into the temple of the self. Hermeticism is not a museum piece. It is a living path, a practical framework for reshaping your consciousness and, by extension, your reality. Let's begin with mentalism. If all is mind, then your inner world is not a private theater. It's the workshop of the universe. What you dwell on becomes the blueprint of your life. So start here. Each morning, sit in stillness. Close your eyes. Visualize the day not as it might unfold, but as you intend it to. Feel the emotions. Speak affirmations aloud as if the desired outcome has already happened. This is not fantasy, it's focused thought energy, consciously directed. With discipline, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts, chance encounters, patterns aligning, intuition sharpening. Now take correspondence into daily awareness. Begin to look for the patterns, how the micro reflects the macro. Do your thoughts mirror your environment? Are your internal conflicts echoed in external chaos? Instead of reacting, observe. Keep a hermetic journal. Track how events in your life correspond to your inner state. You'll start to see that reality is not a series of coincidences. It's a feedback loop. With vibration, practice energetic hygiene. Before you speak or act, ask, what frequency am I on right now? Fear, anger, joy, gratitude, they all vibrate differently. Use sound, breath, and intention to shift your state. One simple exercise, sit with a candle. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, chant the ancient syllable AUM, allowing it to vibrate through your chest. Do this for 7 minutes. The resonance clears stagnant energy and recalibrates your field. Polarity can be used in emotional transmutation. When you feel stuck in negativity, don't resist it. Shift along the spectrum. Turn anxiety into alertness. Transform resentment into discernment. A practical tool here is the law of reversal. Write down the emotion you feel, then write its opposite. Meditate on how they are connected. What is this emotion trying to teach you? Where can you shift your position on the scale? Rhythm requires acceptance and timing. Track your energetic highs and lows, weekly, monthly, seasonally. Align your goals with your natural rhythms. Don't force action in your valleys. Instead, reflect, plan, nourish. When the wave rises, act boldly. This rhythm awareness prevents burnout and enhances flow. Cause and effect is a reminder of your agency. Before you blame circumstances, ask, what thought or action planted this seed? If you want to change your life, begin sowing new causes. Small, intentional acts done daily compound into new destinies. Make a morning ritual non-negotiable. Light a candle, speak a truth, offer gratitude. Let your actions echo into the future you desire. Finally, with gender, examine your energetic balance. Are you overly analytical but emotionally distant? 2. Passive but lacking direction. Bring harmony. Men, cultivate receptivity, stillness, and creativity. Women, embrace assertion, structure, and decisiveness. Do this not by suppressing traits, but by integrating both aspects within. A beautiful exercise is the inner union meditation. Close your eyes. Envision your inner masculine and feminine, perhaps as archetypal figures, gods or goddesses, light and shadow. Let them meet in a sacred space. Let them speak, let them dance, let them merge. The feeling of wholeness that arises is more than symbolic. It is alchemical. Above all, remember, Hermeticism is a path of self-initiation. No guru, no priest, no system can walk it for you. You must become the philosopher, the mystic, the scientist of your own soul. Practice leads to perception. Perception leads to power. And power, when aligned with the divine, leads to liberation. The teachings of Hermes Trismegistus are not relics of a forgotten past. They are maps. Maps that lead inward to the seat of your own divinity. They whisper of a truth that religions have veiled, that science has only begun to rediscover. You are not merely a creature in the universe. You are the universe, awakening to itself. Each Hermetic principle is a key, and together they unlock the temple gates not of stone, but of consciousness. Mentalism reveals the power of your mind. Correspondence shows the mirror of the world. Vibration teaches the music of your being. Polarity, the secret of transformation. Rhythm, the cycles of your soul. Cause and effect, your role as creator. Gender, the sacred union within. But remember this, wisdom alone does not liberate. Embodied wisdom does. To study the Kybalion, to meditate on the Emerald Tablet, to chant the name of Hermes Trismegistus, these are not ends, they are beginnings. So ask yourself now, not in theory but in practice, what vibration do you live in each day? What thoughts are you feeding the universe? Where do you resist the rhythm of your life? Have you honored both the light and shadow within you? The Hermetic path is not always easy. It demands responsibility. It confronts illusion. It breaks the spell of victimhood and replaces it with divine sovereignty. And yet, for those who dare to walk it, it offers something rare and sacred, the return to your original self. As Hermes once declared, that which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing. You are the miracle. You are the one thing, and now you hold the keys. If this journey spoke to something ancient within you, something you've always known but never put into words, then the path is already calling. Subscribe, share this light, and walk with us into the mysteries. The teachings are eternal, but the time to awaken is now.